Hi folks, Dr. Miller here, welcoming you to our Module 3 video lecture. We look at stock valuation briefly. We look at stock valuation in terms of the dividend discount model of stock valuation, where the price of the stock is a function of the dividends that the stock is expected to pay in perpetuity, the present value of those stocks to be paid in perpetuity. Some stocks follow patterns that make the valuation process a little simpler. Since a lot of companies go through common life cycles, it may be possible to recognize a company's state of growth, which leads to a better estimate of stock value. For example, if a company is mature and there are a few new growth opportunities, we might assume that the firm to be a zero growth company, such as a utility, for example. Another company may have passed through its high growth period, which is called the pioneer stage, and then settled into a constant growth period, such as Microsoft. Given the growth assumption, we can use the dividend discount model, to estimate stock value. The model also makes two primary assumptions. First, it assumes that dividends are proportional to earnings. Second, it assumes that earnings grow in a predictable pattern, which it may or may not. With these assumptions, we examine the zero growth model and the constant growth model. If a firm has zero growth, we assume that the earnings and dividends do not grow from one year to the next. This might be a case where a company is mature in its industry, such as the utility industry, for example. In a constant growth firm, we assume that the earnings and dividends grow at the rate of the firm's growth, such as a Microsoft, for example. With a differential growth firm, to estimate the value of a differential growth firm, we first find the dividends for a non-normal growth period. The non-normal growth period for a firm may occur as it begins its corporate life. At that point, it may be establishing market share at a fast-paced rate. An example of this might be Apple Computer. That might be arguably the case because Apple began paying dividends just a few short years ago. Growth will be termed supernormal in that case. There's also the possibility that the company will experience low growth in that stage. It is highly dependent on the individual case and the sector in which the firm operates, as in Apple. If the barriers to the industry entry are high, then the firm may experience slower initial growth. Subsequent to the initial period, we assume a constant growth pattern. These growth models are interesting to look at, but they also just go to point out that dividends are an important part of determining value in a firm. Hope you enjoy this module. Thank you.